Hi everyone, so to the next part. I noticed that there was a problem in the previous video. I accidentally pressed a button which stopped and then restarted the recording, so I think I missed only naming some of the gods, so here are the names and their genders. I didn't name or specify the gender of the outsider, as I saw them as a force that doesn't necessarily conform to either of those. So, I also added some descriptions, very basic descriptions for the gods, such as the eye color, because one of the two things that make them stand out is the eye color or hair color or skin color. So I just chose some unnatural ones like glowing eyes or red eyes or things like that, of that nature. So now we are going to do the second part of this first part, so to speak. We're going to finish with the Pamphlet of Pantheons, hopefully in this video. So, what's the feel of the entire religion? So again, I'm going to pick a d6 and roll 4. I rolled 4, so that's... I recognize hierarchy places some shrines above others in the spiritual importance, if not temporal authority. Well, honestly, that makes a lot of sense as to what we were saying before. So, let me just... oh, goodness. Oh no. Okay, why can't I... Okay. So, not just a religion. Perhaps I could put that here, yeah. Religion, and go with that, and a recognized hierarchy places some shrines above others in the spiritual importance, if not temporal authority. So I thought about dividing the gods, not necessarily for like an actual combat or wars, but that there would be some division amongst the gods that would lead into some division amongst the people. And I think we could divide the gods into two groups. What I call, just made it up in this name, the celestial hierarchy and the unbound league. Gods divided. This is just my thing that I made up. You don't have to do this when you play this. Into two groups. Not necessarily hostile groups, but there is a division. So the celestial hierarchy, I hope I spelled hierarchy correctly, and that includes Mezoran, who is the king of the gods, or the crown of heaven, Mezoran, the celestial sovereign Aruna, yep, the hierarch of hell, Charizon. I'm still not sure. I think I will include Cerebos in the... well, let me look first. That, and the outsider is definitely not. So I will add the fruitful earth, Cerebos here as well. And that's the celestial hierarchy, and now the unbound league. Alright. And just check, yep, I am, yeah, recording, okay. And that's the Unbound League, and that's the Bestower of Plenty, or just the Bestower. Next is the Firebringer, Procleus. Joanne is the neutral one, the Catherine, oh, not the Catherine, just Catherine, and the Outsider. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? The neutral party being the Heavenly Youth. Joanne. All right. So now I think we could do for all of the gods the rites and rituals, festivals and temples. Now, yeah, sure. I was thinking maybe choosing just I will roll and see how many we'll choose. 6, so we're going to choose for all of them. So starting with Mazaran, what are his rites? Ecstatic worship that opens the mind to divine presence. Alright. Okay. So his rites and rituals. Alright, so his rites and rituals. I sort of see it as something like Tantra, but instead of it being a dance, this is like a dance of... it's called the Dance of Swords. It's a slow, strategic and deliberate. That's not how you spell that, but okay. It's slow and strategic fight between two warriors that cut into each other. Well, slowly, doing so, they wish to experience the divine bliss of the array of armies. I think this is not a to the death battle. It's just about cutting into each other, about being strategic. Yeah. So for the Bestower of Plenty, 5. Sacred feasts open only to initiates. Scandalous rumors circulate. That doesn't really... yeah, that doesn't really fit with the Bestower. So maybe I'll give that to someone else. Maybe I'll just pick what suits the person or the god. Oh, that's definitely the Outsider, I think. Yeah, it definitely fits the Outsider. I know I'm a little bit cheesing it a little bit, but... oh, goodness. secret and reserved only for the initiated. The rites are surrounded by endless amount of gossip. All right, so 6 again. Oh no, we didn't have 6 before. Sacrifices, clouds of incense, bang gongs, chanting, not necessarily in union. Okay, that could be the hierarch of hell. That could be basically anyone, I think. Wait, sacrifices, clouds of incense, bang gongs, chanting. That could be honestly anyone, so I will go with, since it does say sacrifices, so I'm going to say it's the fruitful earth. Oh, maybe I could name all of them. So that was the Dance of Swords. You know what? The Outsiders' rites and rituals do not have a name. That makes sense. For the Fruitful Earth, though, Week of the Hallowed Harvest. Series of sacrifices accompanied by chanting, fasting, and meditation. All right, next. It's the same. I'm going to use a different one for now. I know we'll have to repeat it because we have more gods than... Actually, we don't. We'll just use the 6 that there are. Maybe not all of them have some rituals and rites necessarily. The ancient chants in a form of the language so old that few now speak it. Oh, I was definitely thinking that would be best for the Celestial Sovereign. Alright, so rites and rituals conducted... Wait, the name. What should I call it? Patron of lawyers, legislators, and peacekeepers. Not sure what to call it, to be honest. Lawgivers. Exaltants. And basically during the lawgivers' exaltants, the people, well, it is conducted in an ancient, almost forgotten language. It celebrates the discipline of the Celestial Sovereign, and her and her disciples. Alright, so that's 1, 2, 3, and okay, I'm going to use only those 6. Oh, right, that was again what we already had. Same thing. I don't mind using the same thing, but some of these I don't want to use too often, so I'm going to re-roll if necessary. And this one is 4, which we already had, but no, we didn't have that. So elaborate pageants reenacting doing myths using real monsters whenever available. So I think that's perfect for the Monster Slayer. The rites and rituals, and I think that's remembrance. I'm going to name it Remembrance of the Ascendancy. Celebrating and reenacting the myths of her ascension. I think that makes total sense. Ecstatic worship that opens the mind to divine presence. Okay, you know what, I decided to do it differently. I'm going to take the second and third ritual and just give it to someone as I see fit. Or you know what, this was the last one. I made my mind this one, and that's the ecstatic ritual. I think that makes sense for the Firebringer. Yeah. So the rites and rituals. Oh, by the way, the rites and rituals I think don't necessarily mean just a single holy day or something, but I'm using it in such a way because I'm going to be using this for something later, for the games after this. But even in the descriptions I have here, we could use it for other rituals, other celebrations, and so on. So for Procleus's rites and rituals, we will make... okay. The day of the fiery embrace. It's celebration of celebration, oh goodness, celebration of love, lovemaking, passion, and fire. Alright. For the next... oh. I'm going to skip the festivals for now. I might use this table later though, in different games, so maybe not now. And the temple, I'm going to use the temple later as well. But I'm going to use it, I think I'm going to use it, but just not now. So I'm going to skip to the creatures and treasures. Not all of the gods are going to have servants, and not all of the gods are going to have treasures. Why some of them have servants or treasures, well, I don't know, honestly. So I'll just roll 5. So we'll have 5 gods that have servants. And I'm not sure if I'm... 1, 2, 3, 4... Yeah, I have 9 gods. I have 9 gods, and you know what, I'm not going to... I think I'm going to do it... Yeah, I'm going to say that the Heavenly Youth has definitely servants. So it's the other 8, and I'm going to use... since I don't have an actual D8, I'm going to use an app for that, and pick who has the other. Servants. Sorry, I got completely lost. Okay, I have it. So, first is the 5th god. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the fruitful earth Cerebos. Alright, so what sort of servants does he have? That's 5. And that's the voices of the wind in the leaves and in the sea on the shore. I mean, that totally makes sense for a god of nature, or, well, or maybe not a god of nature necessarily, because that is an actual archetype of a god of nature, but he is very close to it, so... Alright, divine servants, and that's going to be the voices of the wind in the leaves and the sea on the shore. Totally makes sense. So the next god is actually 4, so that's the Firebringer, Procleus, and here's one. Fragments of divine consciousness temporarily possessing human bodies. Alright. I'm going to imagine that these are willing humans, given that Procleus is one of the members of the Unbound League. So these are maybe his priests that invoke his name, and this divine consciousness comes down and gives them power, provided they are loyal to their god. Yeah, sure. Alright, the next one is the 3rd god. That's the Celestial Sovereign, makes sense. 5, and I think I had 5 already, so I'm going to re-roll. Again, re-roll. 6. Prototypes of humanity, surpassed by mortals, but still useful to the gods. I mean, that makes completely sense. Again, I think you are supposed to use this table only once for all of the gods, but I'm using it like this. I just thought it made not more sense, but it was more fun for me. So, Arunas, celestial or divine servants, I'm sorry. Divine servants. Okay. And the last one was the 2nd god, so the bestower of plenty. Now, but I'm going to just drop you a little bit because it annoys me. Divine servants 2, which I'm not sure if I used. Animated objects imbued with life by the god's will. I mean, that makes sense too, honestly. Alright. And, yep. Okay, so we are done with the servants, and now we are going to go to the treasures. Oh, I forgot to roll for the Heavenly Youth, who was like guaranteed someone. So that's divine servants. And the number 3 is an ancient race of immortals who struck a bargain to serve the gods as servants and soldiers. Yeah, and they were given to the the heavenly youth, sorry. Since they are the neutral party, they have this race of immortals, and they are not policing the gods, but they are standing in between. So they have this army to call upon if needed. Alright, and now to the treasures. So how many treasures do we have? Just 1. Alright, so I'm going to roll. We have 9 gods. And I think that, you know what, I think it makes sense for the Monster Slayer to have it, so I'm not going to roll who has it, but just the just we know that the Monster Slayer has the artifact, or whatever it is. I apologize for my voice, I'm losing it a little bit. So, 6. A single pearl, large and lustrous, that causes all whose hearts harbor greed to go mad with desire for it. Alright, god damn it. Alright. I don't know how she came in possession of such a thing. Perhaps that's one of the things she retrieved. During her adventures as a human, as a mortal. So, we are done with the treasures, the gods. So maybe to have to recapitulate, sorry, just from the beginning. So we have the look and feel of the gods, more or less ordinary humans, or they look like humans but have some distinctive features, so some uncommon skin color or eye color, or some archaic dress, the signs of divinity, what distinguishes them from other supernatural beings, an unearthly glow in the eyes, or an unusual color of hair or skin, which I have already written to the individual gods. When it comes to the religion, it has a recognized hierarchy that places some shrines above others in a spiritual importance, if not temporal authority. The gods are divided into 2 groups: the celestial hierarchy, which represents order and fatality and fate. This includes Mezoran, Aruna, Charizon, and Kerebos, or Cerebos, still not sure about the pronunciation, how I want to pronounce it, and the Unbound League, which includes Bestower, Procleus and Catherine, and the Outsider. These are the gods of freedom, or primal forces, and humanity. Not as a race, but more as a concept. And then there is the one neutral god that nobody really fucks with, and that's the heavenly youth, Joanni. So, from the go, so beginning with the arrayer of armies, Mezuran, male, who is a master strategist whose devotees are generals and kings. He is the crown of heaven, the king of the gods. He is the eyes of the colors of ember, and his rites and rituals include the dance of sword, very slow, strategic, ecstatic fights. Then there is the bestower of plenty. They are non-binary. They are a jolly figure who hands out wealth not as a gift, but as a reward. As a gift, not as a reward. They are the granter of fortune. They have green, glowing eyes, and they have a divine servant race, or in this case, they have animated objects which they imbued with life. The third god is the celestial sovereign, Aruna, female. She is the goddess of the civilized and the refined. She is the master of complex heavenly bureaucracy. She is the lawgiver. She created society's rules and gave them to the mortals. She is the patron of lawyers, legislators, and peacekeepers. She has golden eyes, grey purplish hair. I imagine her looking a little bit old. She looks like an old, tall, skinny woman with golden robes, maybe, so that sort of thing. And her rites and rituals include the lawgiver's exultance, which is spoken in ancient, almost forgotten language. Her divine servants are prototypes of humanity, surpassed by mortals but still useful to the gods. The next god is the Firebringer, Procleus, male. He once walked among humans and perhaps had mortal children. He is also the love deity. He has orange shining hair and glowing orange eyes. His rites and rituals include the Day of the Fiery Embrace, which is an ecstatic celebration of love, lovemaking, and passion and fire. He has divine servants who are created from the fragments of divine consciousness, temporarily possessing willing human bodies, because I really don't believe he would go for unwilling humans. The next god is the fruitful earth, Kerebos, still unsure. Male, he is ritually sacrificed to bring the gifts of the earth. He is called the ancestor of the people. He led a mortal to produce a nation, and the people I'm going to be describing in the second game believe they have divine ancestry, which makes them special. They are dressed, he is dressed in rags, skins, very animalistic. He looks like a hunter that lived all his life in the forest. And he has eyes as black, but not as the night, because that sometimes usually is used as something to scare people. But in this case, it's like black as the fertile lands. I think the Egyptians actually believed that, or associated the color black with goodness, because it represented the fertile lands of the Nile. Now, his rites and rituals include the Week of the Hallow Harvest, which is a series of sacrifices accompanied by chanting, fasting, and meditation. He too has divine servants, and those are the voices of the wind and the sea on the shore, which is perfect for a nature or a nature adjacent deity. So the next god or deity is the heavenly youth, Joani. They are the favorite child of heaven. They are doomed to die as a sign of the world's end. Some say they will be one day reborn, but some doubt it. They are known as the patron of mothers. They are prayed to in childbirth. Mothers do not work on this god's feast day. They have pinkish hair and eyes. They have a divine servant race, which is a race of ancient immortals who struck a bargain, served the gods as servants and soldiers. Next god is the hierarch of hell, Charizon, male. He keeps a regal, cheerless state in silent palace deep beneath the earth. He is also known as the scourge of heaven. He is particularly vengeful, even amongst the gods. And he has crimson glowing eyes. Next god is the monster slayer, Catherine. Female, she was once a mortal hero who ascended to godhood. She was a great mortal and warriors. Great mortal warriors aspire to be like her. She has grey eyes that are similar in shade to that of her ancient sword. Her rites and rituals include the Remembrance of Ascendancy, which celebrate and reenact the myths of her ascension. Her divine treasure is a single pearl. She has a divine treasure, actually, and that is a single pearl, which can make people go mad with greed if they harbor. It can make people go mad if they harbor greed. And the last but not least is the outsider, the unknown god, goddess, deity, no one knows. They wear a beautiful face of a young hunter, but they have but that's a mask of over an ancient bestial power. Their rituals are secret and reserved only for the initiated. The rites are surrounded by endless amount of gossip. Alright, and I think that's it for this video. I think it's a bit shorter than the previous one, but I just wanted to finish what we started. Alright, this was really fun. I really love this tool, or a game, whatever you wish to call it. I think the author did an amazing job, and I'm looking forward to using these gods in our next game, or at least as an inspiration in our next game, because that's going to be about creating a map, populating it with at least 2 cultures. So I'm thinking maybe it's the same nation that has 2 cultures, or 2 communities I should say, but I'm going to look at it as possibly nations or cultures, and I think they might be divided as the gods are divided, possibly. Okay, so thank you for watching and see you next time.